You are off the clock with Trish and Steve and our friend Jill Popelka. Hi, everyone.
Hey, what's happening?
Hey
Happy,
guys, great to see you.
happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Normally I say that, Jill, and I'm always kind of like lying a little bit. I'm always like, hey, happy Monday. But seeing you, happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Great to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming and taking a break with us. People might not know, I mentioned I was at SAP Sapphire last week, and I actually got to see you in person.
That's right. It was so fun to be together in person. First conference in a long time where we really had some great attendance, some great enthusiasm and energy around the topics. And of course, in addition to seeing all of our partners, seeing all of our customers in person was fantastic too.
It really was. It was like wonderful and strange all at the same time. I thought I was ready. I wasn't ready. So I guess my first question is going to be, were you ready? Was there anything that like you thought like I got this and you got there and you were like, oh no, I forgot what? Like, was there any item where you just kind of went, I wish I would have remembered this?
There was no specific item that I particularly left behind, but I did realize throughout the week that a lot of us have forgotten how to present super effectively to big audiences. Like, I think you commented on this too, Trish, but like a lot of people were just like reading, like they were so focused on their teleprompter, right? It's like, no. When you're presenting to groups of people, have a conversation, right? Just be authentic.
Mm-hmm. I can tell you there was only one I saw where it appeared reading. So everybody else did a pretty good job. I won't name names, but
I'm just jealous you had a teleprompter. I want one. I've been begging for a teleprompter for like a decade, and I've not been able to get. I should buy my own, maybe.
You should, Steve. I mean, it could be good. It could be good. I will tell you that the confidence monitors that we did have. So Meg and Marianne and Amy and I, we all had confidence monitors. The font was so small that our old eyes couldn't read them.
Oh,
so
right.
Not really useful.
Yeah, someone needs to. I don't know. I think that's why years ago I was a fan of when sort of the disrupt HR things started happening, and you pretty much present with just pictures. Mm-hmm. So, because like a picture can prompt me far better than like a string of words that I cannot see. So absolutely. Yeah, that's kind of my cheat is I'll try and find a picture to put with it. But no, it was really fun. My one thing I forgot was Band-Aids. I don't know what, and of course wearing heels.
What kind of conference was this where were you getting injured? What was going on?
Okay, so Steve, I'm glad you're asking this because I want your opinion on this. So I don't know why this is, but men can wear a suit and sneakers and pull it off and be amazing. Like women, we all wear like dresses and heels and look amazing as well. But
I'm a big fan of the dress sneaker. I have adopted that.
Our feet
shout out Greats brand, New York City. Thank you.
Yeah, so I had the little blisters going on, but anyway, gotcha. It's all good.
Trish, I've transitioned to white sneakers with whatever.
I did see you in sneakers, and actually they looked really classy. So I think I'm going to do it for the next event that I go to. I'm gonna try.
Did you guys get the sense now we've been doing work from home and hybrid and whatnot, right? For people who do jobs like the kinds of ones we have anyway. For 2 years, did you get a sense, Jill, at the big event? Was it less formal or did people dive back into suits and dress up and feel good about that? Or did you even notice?
I rolled in day one with a green shirt on, black pants, and my white sneakers. Everyone else had on suits. Trish, am I lying? Like everyone had on.
Everyone had on. Yeah.
I think we even advertised this as like, go casual, right? Like be casual, be cool. We're in Orlando. No one followed the rules.
Wow.
I think people are like thinking like, it's just different to put on your dress clothes for a change. I will admit, I wore a dress one day and pants the other day. I loved my dress, which was brand new because I can't fit into anything from before pandemic. But no, I actually got more comments and compliments on wearing slacks and a blouse. So there you go. Maybe I need to switch it up. I don't know. But listen, hey, another reason, not just because we like you and we're friends. No, we wanted you to come on because you have written a book. You are an official author. And I want to put, before we get to talking about the book, I want to put your Twitter handle up here. At the end, we'll also share where people can catch up with you. But they definitely need to follow you. So you want to maybe tell us a little bit about your book? It just came out.
It did. Thanks for asking, Trish. It was such an amazing learning adventure writing a book, right? It's something that I had not done before. I'd always aspired to write something. Wasn't sure I had a relevant perspective. But then at the beginning of the pandemic, I realized that I had really been thinking about focusing on employee experience and the human connection for a long time. And I started to put together stories, both of the experiences that I'd had and also kind of the research, what I'd been studying. And so that human connection was really missing at the beginning of the pandemic. I was walking my dog one day and I was seriously out. I can tell you what corner it was in my neighborhood because we made that corner often. I thought, this is so something that we need to write about, that people need to remember how important human connection and that experience is, even though we're going to be working hybrid, remote, whatever from now on. Conveniently, an editor from Wiley & Sons reached out to me at the same time and said, hey, we think that there's an audience for this whole concept of connecting your employees, right? How you're going to actually operate in the world of work. So, that.
There you go. Right
there.
there.
We are experience,
right? And it really talks a lot just about how human connection is required. And we need to connect to the purpose of our company. We need to feel like we have some ownership in our career development. As employees, we need to create a sense of community and belonging, and then meaningful recognition. These are things that don't cost millions of dollars. But what the book does is highlight those concepts with employee stories, with real stories from employees at work. Then we talk about foundational elements like authentic leadership and the humane use of technology. And at the end, what I think a lot of our HR colleagues will appreciate, there are some stories that I call the so what. And it's bringing together companies that have actually focused on these things, what they've done, and the results that they've achieved as a business. So you can go to your CFO and say, hey, actually, companies that focus on this do better, right? They perform better.
Yeah. No, so many good nuggets that you just mentioned. I mean, you've really given us the outline of that book. One of the things that caught my attention about it when I was kind of looking at what you covered is around how you talked about not having to have the big budget, because there are a lot of professionals, not just in human resources, business professionals who do not have that big budget. Could you maybe just give a little teaser as like, what's one thing that maybe they could start focusing on as they're going to order your book or pick up your book, right?
No, listen, this one's simple, in my opinion. Leaders just need to start modeling specific behaviors that help lead toward that authentic leadership, to empowering people to use technology in humane ways. It's really all about creating the behaviors in the leadership and people manager ranks so that everyone sees that this is the way we're going to start to do business, right? This is how we're going to operate with each other. We're going to trust one another. We're going to empower employees to make great decisions and choose the direction of their career. All those things can be done with just modeling behavior and great storytelling.
Yeah, so true. Do you, as a leader, I mean, obviously leaders are employees like everyone else, right? Are there times where you've lost that connection yourself over these last 2 years? And like, what do you do if you're the leader and you're feeling maybe disconnected, but now you're also responsible for making sure your team feels connection? Are any tips or tricks on how you might handle that?
It's such a great question. Of course, I've struggled. I mean, I think we all have to some extent, just to stay connected, right? At times, as our leadership is trying to figure out how to keep everyone connected. And everybody's going to have to do this differently, Trish, because you have to use your authentic style. But what I did was just share it with people. Hey, the last week's been really hard for me, right? I haven't felt like I was doing the right things, like I was bringing value, like I was really connected, right, to our mission or contributing value. And man, you'd get great responses. I would get great responses, right? People say, oh no, you did this 2 days ago, right? Or I felt the same way. And so I think just being able to connect as a human with others is really important.
Yeah, there's a big element of modeling where it comes to things. I'm working on a webinar I'm doing soon on mental health and well-being. And one of the key things in some of the research I've read is all about creating that climate where people feel comfortable sharing. And a big part of what the research says is when leaders are also open about perhaps any challenges that they're facing or any just being real, being authentic and being real and being open, that does cascade throughout the organization and makes everybody feel a little, not everybody's completely comfortable with me, but you start to feel slightly more comfortable that you're in an environment where it's okay to be open yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And there was even an article last week, I think it was Wednesday, in the Wall Street Journal on empathy and on how more and more you're seeing empathy in the job description for a manager. Like when people are looking for managers, they need empathy, and that's the best way to create retention within your workforce. It's a great article. I recommend it.
I love that. I think back to when I started my career, I feel like I had great leaders, but they definitely did not show any chink in the armor, no vulnerability whatsoever. If they did, it was seen as like we didn't know what to do with it sometimes. It was like, oh my gosh, And I've kind of gone back. I worked at a big four public accounting firm, and one of the partners was struggling at one point, and he said, I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy like everyone else. Yeah, right. And so I think it's realizing that your leaders are just people too. We all went through this together. We all have moments where we feel stressed or we feel like it's just not our best day or whatever, right? So I love that people both understood and showed you empathy, but then they also kind of took to bringing you up and lifting you up, right? Because it must show that you're doing that for them as well, to have that sort of relationship.
I think it's
I was just going to say, were there stories in the book then where you really kind of talk about other companies that were kind of employing that sort of relationship with their teams?
Yeah, absolutely. We talk about quite a few in the back of the book. I mean, one, a couple, we talked about Starbucks, about Adidas, about Singapore Airlines, all kind of in different ways, but highlighting their cultures.
That's a great airline, by the way, just FYI. Holy cow. What a great flight on Singapore Airlines, like pre-pandemic.
Yeah, me too. Miss it so much, Steve. Like everything else is uncivilized, right? How did we end up here? And no company is perfect. So you can't promote that those companies are perfect. Their CHROs wouldn't say that. However, they're doing some great things that they highlight in terms of leadership and how their leadership is relating to their employees.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
I know we're getting close to probably wrapping it up today. I know, Steve, it looks like you've got one more question. I've got one for sure. Why don't you go first?
No, I just wanted to make sure we tell people, hold up the book again, Jill, one more time. Okay. So people see it, people know how to find it, go everywhere where you get books. I would say something, Jill, I don't know if you're doing this. If I do ever become a published author, we'll see. I would be so annoying about it. I would hang out in the bookstore and I'd wait for people to come by and say, you know what, the book's a good one, that one. In the airport,
sign it right there for them.
I'd be in there too, just waiting for people to come by. Absolutely, I'd be so annoying about it. So I don't know if you're doing any of those things, but I would do them if I were.
Well, Trish saw me last week. I don't think I was terribly annoying, but we were having a lot of fun talking about the book and talking about what's in it. I think it's a fun book. It's an easy read. It's something you can, read in a day or two, and get a few fun stories that you can use going forward.
Love it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I haven't read the whole thing yet. It's on the list, but just perusing through it, I also feel like it's one of those books you can read cover to cover, like you're saying, pretty quickly. It's going to be a resource, though, that you can go back to. And to your earliest point about taking that information back to your C-suite and sharing that with them, that's really what, as HR professionals, at least I always struggled with, is having those stories and those examples, whether it's in your own industry or not, or maybe it's the same size business or something like that, some tie-in to go back to your C-suite and say, look, this really could work for us. So
yeah, and at the back of every chapter, there are these little call out cards that says, take this with you. And there are like 3 points for every chapter that, if you don't feel like reading the whole book right away, you can go flip to the end of each chapter and get the takeaways.
I love it. You come with your own Cliff Notes. Perfect.
Right.
Perfect. Well, listen, thank you for taking a break with us. This has been so fun. Definitely, I'm going to put your handle back up there. Follow Jill on Twitter. Jill, where else can people find you? What's the best way to get in touch with you? Whether it's about the book specifically, SAP. I know you all are doing so much with sustainability. I would recommend them to contact you about that. We didn't even have time to cover that. Where can they find you?
People sustainability. It's actually a chapter in the book as well. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm Jill Popelka. So it's very nice to be here with you, Trish, Steve. Thank you so much for the time today.
Good stuff. Well, Steve, I hope you have a good rest of your Monday. Are you going to go outside and do any grilling today? Is that in the cards?
Yeah, that's probably what will happen.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm doing okay because last week the air conditioner went out, so just had the air conditioning guy out. I think I'll have to suffer for another week or so, but
wow,
it's in the 80s here. Wish me luck.
Oh my gosh!
I know.
Good luck.
Lots of fans are going on in my house right now. Anyway, hey, everyone, thanks for always sticking with us and taking a break. We hope you have a good rest of your Monday. Be sure to follow Jill, reach out and connect with her on LinkedIn and Twitter or wherever you use your social media, and we will see you back here on Wednesday. Bye.